don't show prep. So, so he had no idea.
I just barely make it in.
I'm sure you can tell, but we don't show.
I mean, let's put the cards down on the table here.
Miami Hurricanes, yeah. You know the name already. It's Mercy. Ha ha. It's a 6-ring Kane show. Can't forget the name though. Got Jazz, Blue, Vision, DJ break the game code. Ain't no changing them, ain't no breaking them. Real Portland live from the Hall Ride Stadium. Ball 14 for the orange and green. We see the 6-ring champs. It's more than a dream. This is life on the field. Beyond 100 yards of Hurricane that's never still put a damage to your squad. The 6-ring Kane show. The 6-ring Kane show. The 6 Rings Kane show. You know.
What's wrong with us? Seriously.
What's wrong with us? We're Miami Hurricanes fans.
Welcome to the 6 Rings Kane Show, a show dedicated to Miami Hurricane sports, featuring the legendary Larry Bluestein, Jazz Santana, Vish, and Danny Gillette. Let's go Canes.
Welcome back, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back to the 6 Rings Kane show. We got a good one tonight as the Canes beat the brakes off of Ball State this past weekend after a 2.5, almost 3-hour rain delay, which myself and about 50,000 other fans sat through for a little while, and then about 47,000 of them left midway through the first quarter. But at any rate, Canes came out. Looks like they the delay really didn't bother them that much, as they won 62-0. But before we even get to that, I want to thank our sponsors for tonight. It's You Break Will Fix. Have you ever run over a pothole so hard that your steering wheel shakes, constantly losing air in your tires that you need to keep adding air? Chances are there's an issue with your wheels, and You Break Will Fix is your solution. You Break Will Fix is Miami's premier wheel repair and restoration company. With over 20 years of experience and located in North Miami, You Break Will Fix offers quick repairs for damaged wheels, and in most cases can offer a free loaner wheels for your damaged wheels. If your wheels are looking weathered and it's time to freshen up your car, don't replace, refinish. Their in-house wheel refinishing solutions such as powder coating, machining, and polishing will give your car the like-new look it deserves. So contact Mark and his staff at 305-748-0112 or on all social media outlets. It's at You Break Will Fix. That's the letter U, Break, Wheel Fix. Mention wheel like W-H-E-L-L. E-E-L, excuse me. Look, I don't even know how to spell. Mention 5 reasons and get 5.5% off your next repair. That's You Break Will Fix. The letter U, Break, Wheel Fix. Their powder coating and wheel repair. It's 305-748-0112. Again, 305-748-0112. Located in 1848 Northeast 143rd Street in North Miami. Make sure you go check them out. You Break Will Fix. 305-748-0112. Tried to get through that there, and Vish, you know the rest. Guys, so Miami, we spoke about it. I think Blue was the first to mention how bad Ball State was. And to be quite honest with you, I thought that maybe they'd score a couple of points, man. But Miami, I don't know if this is a product of Miami being that damn good. I've gotten so many text messages now that are, I got a text message last night, like at 12 o'clock at night from a buddy of mine that told me, this is a really good team, guys. I go, yeah, they're fun to watch. Man, putting up 62 easy points, it felt like, right? It was 62 easy points as they won 62-0. There are some questions that I have for you all that I want to touch on because we always have to bring up something negative, of course. But no, not negative, but just some question marks that I think down the road is something we need to keep a close eye on. But before we even get to that, Vish, your take on the game. I know, for travel restraints and travel concerns, uh, Saturday sucked for you. Well, it sucked for all of us actually, but in regards to the rain delay. But what you were able to see, I know, you were excited about the game. You wanted to see some of the younger guys get some playing time. Also, what was your thoughts on just the pure dominance of the Miami Hurricanes this past weekend?
Yeah, it was a little bit of delayed dominance. The game was never competitive because the defense just locked it down. So Ball State, like Jazz, to your point, not only did they not score, they never really even strung together, the semblance of a drive. It's like they, drove to the 30 and turned it over, missed a field. Like it was not even close. So in that sense, the game was never competitive, but it was 10-0 pretty late into the second quarter, and then scored those 2 touchdowns and was it 30 seconds, and then it just then the floodgates opened. So I did think though, the way it got there was fine. I mean, Ball State looked like first couple of drives had a little, throwing some screens, doing some misdirections to get some guys in space and get a first down. Then some adjustments were made, and it's basically over for them. As Blue called out last week, just they didn't have the athleticism, and it was pretty obvious from the beginning. So, yeah, I think Miami screwed around a little on offense trying to force the run. If you looked in the box, I don't know what Ball State was doing, but they were playing a 4-3 against a spread team. So trying to run at that, it doesn't matter how bad the other team is. If they've got 7 and you're blocking with 5, you're not gonna run. So I know a lot of people were worried, though the running game's not working. Look, it's 3 backup linemen because Inez Cooper got injured pretty early in that game, and the numbers weren't there. So eventually, correctly, Dawson's like, if you're gonna leave the receivers wide open, we'll just throw. And then eventually that loosened up the defense, and the run game kind of came in the second half. So it was a complete performance. Again, it was another turnover-free one. I know Mario was upset about the penalties. A couple of them were debatable for sure, especially that one on Wes. But no, it was exactly what you want to see, and they keep talking about one game at a time in focus. That's often a cliche. I mean, this team has played very clean this year and very focused, and so far they've been true to their word on that. So that was good to see, because these are types of, it's not a game you're going to lose, but it's a game you can screw around and find yourself up like 31 to 14 in the third quarter. The other team's driving. You're like, man, if they score, then it's only a 2-possession game, and that's like it shouldn't be that. Instead, it was over. So that was good to see.
750 total yards on offense, a school record for the Miami Hurricanes. Over 500 yards passing. What was it? Almost 200 yards on the ground, as Vish mentioned. Didn't run the ball so well in the first half, but in the second half, kudos to AJ Allen. That guy needs to get more playing time. Jesus Christ. But just to kind of piggyback off of what he said there, Blue, I'll go to you on that. Talk to me about your thoughts on how the team looked. I mean, again, 750 yards of total offense. And this was with Cam Ward playing only 2.5, 3 quarters, maybe. Not even. I think he only played 2 quarters, right? Maybe a first.
Yeah. By the time ESPN put the game back on, he was out of it. So.
Don't even get me started on that.
He had the 1 possession in the third quarter, and then there's the dead period of time that apparently didn't exist. And then, Emery was in after that. So.
Emery came in, and they didn't skip a beat. And some of those guys that came in after to play with him, Elijah Lofton and the Rays and JoJo, all these cats that came in and got some playing time. What'd you think of the performance altogether, Blue?
Well, you guys both said it. I mean, they played a lot of people early on. I mean, like Vish said, that it's like playing that type of defense is just opening up for Miami to use the speed they have outside, and they did that. Played really well on defense. Still, the kid Barron showing that he just inches up that first round ladder every week. He's a beast. like you guys said, offensive line wise, they were without a couple of guys, but this is a game that maybe last year would have been a lot closer because they didn't have the depth that they do now. I think he threw to 6 different receivers. That's crazy. I think 10 different receivers caught the ball during the night. It just, I mean, there's nothing you can say negative about the last 3 weeks. You just can't. First, obviously there's something to work on, is just that competition is going to get better starting this week, and then better the next week, and then pretty good the following week, and real good the week after that. So you got to start playing like this now consistently. And like I said, the norm is not going to be 60-something points. It just won't, not against the competition you're going to be playing. But that being said, I think the very fact that Miami's getting a chance to play a lot of these guys, if God forbid something should happen, at least these guys have some baptism already. So I don't care who it is against. It's just that they've shown, as you said, Elijah Lofton late. Emery really, I don't care what the competition is. Emery's shown he can play at this level. So, and that's, the secondary's looking good and better every week, breaking on balls. And, so they just got to prepare for a running quarterback this year and this week, and a good running game.
Sorry, guys. I know you guys see me here going crazy, but my charger's not working on my computer. So if I lose you guys, I apologize.
What happened?
It's not all of a sudden. It's the last thing I need is my charger not working on my laptop. I still have some battery, so hopefully I make it through the show. DJ, your thoughts, on the performance with the Canes leading up to now. What could potentially be a really good? I mean, it could be a really good matchup for the Hurricanes against USF, a team that gave Alabama a little bit of a battle through 3 quarters, and then. And then obviously, the better, stronger team won. But what does this performance kind of tell you from Miami right now, moving forward now with a nice 3-0 start?
It means that they're firing on all cylinders at a point in time where they need to make sure that they're executing well. And I know that sounded like a word salad right there, but we've seen like these types of games sort of, be a struggle in past years. Like Middle Tennessee State, these types of easy games not be so easy, and yet Miami's been able to take care of business throughout the first 3 games of this slate. I thought Saturday they played well on both sides of the football. Ball State was 1 for 12 on 3rd down conversions, I believe it was. And you're seeing positive production on both sides of the ball. Cam Ward looks absolutely phenomenal. The defense looks in sync, and now, as Blue just kind of mentioned a couple minutes ago, we're entering a tougher part of the schedule. But unlike past years, I feel like Miami is ready to take on the competition. They finally have that depth. They finally have that complete team, and they're beating teams that they should beat by a wide margin. So I certainly feel a lot better heading into this next slate than I have in past years.
In past years, right, the whole thing has been, can they beat the teams that they're supposed to beat by a lot of points?
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm not concerned with that anymore. I don't even think about those things anymore, and I think that's a good thing. We've got this is a really good football team, folks, and so I think that we've got to be excited. We got to keep up the momentum. We got to understand that this coaching staff is going to have these guys, these kids prepared game in and game out. And you see it in the mentality from all the coaches, all the players. You're talking about and I heard it over the radio, when Abram Murray came in to kick a point after, or no, it was a field goal. He came in to kick like a 30-yarder or a 40-yard field goal. And the first guy that went out to high-five him and jump for joy was Cam Ward, who wasn't in the game anymore. Like, he was done, right? And then you look at the sidelines, and what's Cam Ward doing while Emery's in the game or while the team's in the game? He's standing right next to Coach Dawson the whole time. He's coaching up the guys, right? You've had players in the past, whether it's the quarterback or other positions, that are not doing that. right? This is a completely different type of mentality that this team has, and we've all said it. You know, it's going to take some time. It's going to take your 3 or 4 years to get this team to where Mario wants him. I think that he's got it there. You mentioned it, Blue. Emory Williams didn't skip a beat when he came in, firing on all cylinders. I think he missed one throw the entire game. I think he went 11 for 12. And he had a beautiful touchdown throw to Elijah Lofton. He was able to really command that offense. The second and the third and the fourth string defense that came in, Anthony Campbell, Moton, Josh Horton, all those guys that came in, McConaughey. You had so many guys that came in and got a lot of playing time, and that defense didn't skip a beat. You know, Zaquan got some time. Dylan Day got some time. I mean, the linebackers, Popo and, Bobby Washington made a really nice hit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's not only for them to get some playing time to be prepared, but I just think that they're so much better than everybody that they're playing right now, that even those guys are not skipping a beat. Because sometimes you see, even when your second and third string guys come in, you may give up a field goal here, you may give up a touchdown here or there, because of the lack of playing time or cohesiveness. That doesn't seem to be the case with this team. And I love what they're doing in that front four, that front seven with Armando Blunt and some of the other guys on that front. Booker Pickett is another one that I saw get some good playing time. So really excited to see what they're doing. Now, kind of moving ahead, this is probably going to be – well, no, it is going to be the biggest test so far of the season, right? You're going to go to Tampa to play a USF team. It's a tough team. It's a well-coached team. I don't think that Miami is going to be in any sort of trouble, but this is a team that you're potentially going to have to execute on a little bit of a higher level. And I say that with everybody saying, well, look what they've done as far as execution, but this is a different story, right? Because you've got some guys that are a little more talented on that side of the football. So you may not score your 62 points. You may give up a couple of touchdowns. So you've got to be able to, when you do have the ball, when you are on the field, not take the team that you're playing for granted. Go out there, continue to execute, and you're going to win the game handily. I kind of want to, before we even get to that, though, there's some question marks. And I think that the biggest question mark for me right now, and I kind of want to get your take on this, I'll start off with you, Vish, is the quote-unquote injury concerns, right? We've got some guys, obviously Ryan Rodriguez a couple of weeks ago. Bain probably won't play again. Maybe he will. I'm not sure. But I know Damari Brown's going to be out for some time. Ines Cooper, Jalen Rivers. You got some guys on defense that are hobbling around a little bit. Jacoby George had a bad ankle during that game. So I've always kind of said if the injuries, don't mount up, if the injuries don't get too bad, then this team is a team that could dominate the entire season, whoever it is that they played. Your thoughts, Vish, on if the injuries that are happening right now are kind of concerning, right? Being that it is where it's very important, and that's in the trenches with the defensive side of the ball and the offensive line. You got some guys, as I mentioned, Ines Cooper, Jalen Rivers, Ryan Rodriguez. Those guys that have had some issues. Are you concerned at all? Is that something that maybe we should just be like, it's all right, man, we've got enough depth where we're not going to skip a beat on that line either? Or are you kind of concerned that down the road this could become a problem if we don't build the depth on that line?
So I think a couple of things is multiple people in the chat have said Mario said today Rivers and Cooper are playing this week.
I was going to get there. I didn't want to get. I didn't want to get away.
So I think I would be concerned if we had to play the same line that after Cooper got injured that was playing against Ball State. I'd be concerned against a better team, not concerned against USF. They're not good. I mean, I get that they hung in there with Bama. USF has had a fluky turnover ratio. They're +7 on turnovers. They've recovered 5 fumbles. It's just like early season, you get these wacky lopsided stats that's kept them in games like the Bama game and made them look closer than they made it look closer than they are. Most notably, their pass defense stinks. I don't know how we have the number 2 pass offense in the country. They're going to really struggle there. They're 104th in pass offense, so they're really one-dimensional. No one's been able to run the ball in the Canes except for the one play UF had. I think this is a
You show.
Hey man, hey,
No,
this is
not acceptable. Okay.
Well, we gotta do it sometimes. So I think they're not terrible. And their quarterback is probably the most multi-dimensional quarterback we faced in that he can get out of the pocket and make plays with his feet, but he actually can't throw. He's only complete 56% of his passes. They're very inefficient, as Melissa put in the chat. They have 448 yards total passing this season in 3 games. They're not going to threaten. We'll be able to stack the box and take away their running game. And then they really don't have a recourse there. I think it's a bad matchup for USF. When you have a terrible pass defense against us, that doesn't bode well. You're one-dimensional offensively, and the dimension they have is going against our front 7. They're going to get killed. And that's fine. Like Wynn's in the chat saying they've been running their mouth all week. I think just to get attention because they're not used to it.
That's what it is.
But they'll be gone on Sunday. But I will say one thing. Look, I love to clown UF. UF is a much better football team than USF, and we went in there and pushed them around. So as long as we're focused, which again this team has shown an ability to do, that's how you get into trouble in a game like this, right? You go in there lazy, turn the ball over, aren't really locked in. Some of our other teams have done things like that. And then the next thing you know, whoa, we're down 14-3 in the second quarter because we threw a pick 6 and fumbled or something. And it's like, that's how this game, how they stay in the game. But this Miami team has I would say not necessarily even played clean. Beginning of the last game, the first drive, Jacoby George kind of tried to catch the ball while backing into the end zone and kind of got caught in between and let the ball go past him and lost. That cost us 4 points. It's not all been perfect, but it's all been efforted. We have not seen players taking plays on, and if they effort, they're going to win this game. They're just way better. And that's the one thing you see across the board. You see the receivers blocking downfield, even when they're not catching the ball, even the ball's not coming their way. I just think this team is locked in mentally. They've done enough losing as a program for the last 20 years, and they're not at the stage where they'll take this for granted. So I don't think this game's competitive at all. It's going to be a blowout.
So Blue, just to kind of talk about a little bit what some people are saying in the chat and what Vish was talking about with Byron Brown, is that his last name?
Yeah.
He's a multi-dimensional quarterback, right? He's kind of your dual threat type of guy, which Miami typically struggles with in the past, right? Again, this is a different football team. Talking about putting a spy on him or doing some different things to limit his athleticism, make him throw the ball a little bit more, put him in a position where he could turn the ball over. On the other side, though, USF does turn the ball does cause a lot of turnovers as well, and so they like to punch the ball out. They like to be aggressive, but as Vish mentioned as well, I think Miami is too talented to put themselves in a position where they're going to be, forcing turnovers or making bad plays. This is a really disciplined from all signs are pointing to this team being a very disciplined football team. Can you see anything that USF does or any players that you might think, well, we should possibly keep an eye on this one, that one, aside from a guy like Byron Brown? Anybody else, or is there anything that USF does that we might, need to kind of say, hey, hold on a second, this is something we may need to scheme a little bit for on offense or on defense that could help us out? And big shout out to Fresh and Woodson and Pimp Down. Miami flows in the house. Jose Santo will get to you as well. Look at that. Appreciate you guys coming on. What do you think, Blue?
Well, Naquan Wright will be a problem because he'll catch the ball and he'll cause problems. He's Duke Johnson, so he'll be paired against a linebacker. He'll do well. He'll do well. He did well against Alabama. Put the safety in concussion protocol. Did the same thing against Southern Miss last week. He actually did it twice. So he's tough. They got 2 linemen that came in this year that are pretty good. One from Arkansas and one from Wisconsin. They've got a couple of kids. I mean, they're going to play. I mean, they're not just going to – they beat Ball State to death, too. They're just a well-coached team, and they've got kids that came in. I watched them during the summer. I was over there during the spring. I saw them. Their coaching is superior. And, Kevin Patrick, former Hurricane, is doing a great job. DeMarcus Van Dyke's doing a great job over there. So you got – and Golis a good coach. So, I mean, it's from talent to talent. There's no comparison. But, you get a home field and you get a couple of, they're supposed to have, I just got the thing. It's almost sold out. And so a lot of people come from everywhere, to see it. And then, Miami doesn't get over that area too much. And it's a great recruiting tool for them. To be over there. And, I just think, kicking wise, they got their Borogalis, who's from here, who's 12 of 13 on field goals this year and 30 of 30 on extra points or something like that. Kids from U School. John Cannon, dad used to be CEO at Auto Nation. So they, it's not like they're void of talent. It's just that they don't have – Miami will beat them up front where it counts, offensive, defensive lines, and that's so no surprises other than there's they do have kids that played at a Power 4 level before, so anytime you have that, you're always going to be in the mix, and I watched the first 3 quarters of their game with Alabama, and they held their own. There's the fourth quarter they got outmanned, and that's what's going to happen, I would think, in this game. But, yeah, this isn't one of those games where you just flick off and say, Ball State at Florida. They're going to have a good fan support, and it's a home field advantage for them. And the only 2 teams that play at a NFL stadium.
Wow, yeah. Pitt doesn't play at Heinz Field anymore?
Pitt does.
Yeah, well, they're right there. They're right next door to it, right? So but I'm talking about 2 in the state, Florida State, USF, UCF doesn't.
Right.
So no, I'm just, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good evening. And I think Miami's still at a level. I'm still gun shy, guys, when it comes to teams with a heartbeat. I'm sorry, but that's just.
You think USF is better than Florida?
Oh, I don't know. I watched Florida last week. They're horrible. I mean, I thought they'd have a chance against A&M because I watched A&M Notre Dame's not what they were. But no, I
just don't think USF is that good either.
I think UCF will beat Florida in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I think UCF is better than USF.
Yeah. Well, one's recruiting Vish at a Power 4 level, and the other one's trying to get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't disagree. But this is, you got to always be wary about good coaching. And that's. But Miami will force the issue with obviously team speed. But they'll win the war up front over and over and over again. Whether they have their second or third team offensive lineman or not, Miami's still at that level. Yeah. And defensive front, that kid, he'll have to run because he's not good. He goes back to pass. Jeez, that's
good night.
But he's going to add a dimension. He's going to move the chains. He will move the chains. I watched him against Alabama. And Alabama's team speed obviously is as good as Miami's. And I'm looking forward to the game because it's going to be more of a pushback than the last 2 games.
I suspect that it will be, at least initially. As you both mentioned, I think Miami just has too many horses.
100%. And that's what happened in the Alabama game with USF. They wore them down, and then in the fourth quarter. But the thing you got to like if you're a USF fan is when coaches come across the shake at the end, Golis was really upset against Alabama. He didn't, hey, you guys are a great team and blah, blah, blah. Right. You want to hear it. So, yeah, I like that. I like the
talk a little trash over there.
Because then you got Virginia Tech, and then you got Cal, and then you got Louisville. So it just, so this is the last tune-up, before you start getting teams that are, that have dudes.
Oh yeah.
In depth.
Speaking of tune-up, look, DJ, I want to kind of throw this to you.
Jazz,
Man.
before we do that, should we do our new sponsor?
Oh, yeah.
We got two sponsors now?
Yeah, we got another one, guys.
Stuff is
Holy
happening.
mackerel.
There you go.
All right, let me hit the play on that.
Guess
I'll be
what,
able to get
everyone? Football is back, and it's here to stay until February. Did you know that you can enhance your football viewing experience with Underdog Fantasy? Join over 1 million fans across 33 states that made picks on Underdog last year. My personal favorite is the higher or lower stats entry on my favorite NFL players on Sunday mornings after watching the Canes win on Saturday. The website is easy to use and the contests are easy to enter. I love playing CeeDee Lamb higher rushing yards and waiting for the Cowboys to run a reverse. I never got into team fantasy football because I didn't want to cheer against my own team, but with Underdog Fantasy, I can support my team by making picks for higher stats. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code 5REASONS. That is the word 5 reasons spelled out FIVEREASONS. And Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code 5REASONS, to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit over. Must be 18 or older to play, 21 or over in Massachusetts and Arizona, 19 or over in Alabama and Nebraska, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. That's 1-800-639-8783 or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, which is 467-369.
Now you know why I pre-recorded it.
Holy mackerel. There goes our talent fee. Holy
Man,
This just took our talent fee.
take a breath, dude. Jeez.
Boy, that was like Jazz like pre-recorded it because Jesus,
I was
The
gonna
legal-
say,
the legal disclaimers and all that. But
Yeah,
I personally
Your
love
sponsor.
I love Underdog Fantasy. I really do. I play it a lot.
Hey, here we go.
There we
Another
Well,
there
yeah, there you
another
go.
happy
Testimonial-
customer.
another happy
Testimonial on
customer.
that, yeah.
Awesome.
Let's not talk about what that was yesterday. That was not.
I don't. We're not talking about.
Yeah, you know what? NFL, we don't really need. I
We don't talk about that.
No.
Not at all. I think Blue. Aren't you a Rams fan or something?
Don't
like
let's not bring that up today.
Yeah,
Let's not
yeah,
bring
let's
it up.
Let's go.
Let me go get my UNLV.
You know, we all did some Santeria. We sacrificed our NFL teams for the Canes.
Even
It's all
DJ,
good.
even DJ
It's all
lost a field goal.
It's all
We're
good.
all
It's all
screwed
good.
this week.
We got our one win of the year last week, and we're gonna be done from here on out. So no more of that. No more
man,
NFL.
how funny is that? That's awesome. I
Ugh.
love it. I love it.
You know what? If we all have to sacrifice the NFL for the Canes to go 16-0,
man,
we'll do it.
Anytime and twice on Sunday. Speaking of, as I mentioned earlier, DJs. Speaking of warm-ups and kind of getting ready for now. You start getting into the meat of the season of the schedule. There some other concerns that we didn't bring up earlier is, and I know Vish brought it up a little bit, but was the slow start to the running game.
Mhm.
And it was a bit concerning because at first you're like, what the hell's going on? We can't run the football. And the whole half, he had 28 yards in the first half rushing.
Mhm.
Right? Damian Martinez struggling to find his footing. But not only him, Mark Fletcher, Jordan Lye, whoever it is that we use in that first half. I know they were kind of stacking the box a little bit, using 7 while we were only blocking 5. I get all of that, but I think that if you see that in this game, I think you're going to have to adjust. I think Coach Dawson's going to have to adjust and make some changes because you have to be able to run that football early this game, because that's a great way to kind of get those defenses and those teams out of the game quickly, right? You start breaking their will early on. You run all over them. You set up that prolific passing game that we have anyways, and now you're talking about pure domination. Is that a concern for you moving forward? Do you think that was just kind of one of those anomalies and they'll kind of put it together, scheme and practice all right, and get it back on Saturday night?
I don't think it's necessarily a concern given the depth that we have at the position. I mean, AJ Allen at 104 yards, and he isn't even, one of the quote unquote featured backs of this offense. I mean, you would like to see a little bit more production in the run game. But I wouldn't call it a cause for concern because you have other weapons, obviously, in the passing game that are extremely effective. You have a quarterback in Cam Ward that can make plays with his feet, right? And you also, sometimes the running backs can catch the ball out of the backfield as well. So I think if we were predominantly a run type of offense, then the alarm bells would sound. But I'm not too concerned right now. I mean, ideally, you want to, use your running backs more so in the later half of the game when you're trying to seal the win rather than use them for the entirety of a game, especially with this type of offense. But I wouldn't be too worried yet. I mean, obviously, there are things to work on. I mean, the slow starts and, trying to get the backs a little bit more involved, especially with the talent you have at the position. But right now, I wouldn't be too worried. I mean, we have enough offensive firepower to make up for it in other areas. And, I think as long as the running game can kind of even itself out and provide a more balanced approach to the offense, then I think we should be fine.
I also want to mention that that's I'm saying that, but I'm also at the same time, like, we ran for 175 yards in game one against.
Yeah.
We ran for 225 in game two against SMU, and we still ran for almost 200 yards again now in game three, right? So slow start or not, and
243 total yards against Ball State.
There you go, 243. Okay, so we're talking about, not running the ball as well is relative to right? I think what it is that we're seeing a lot of, as someone mentioned, it looks like it's a basic running game. It's not. I think it's a little more complicated in that you're seeing a lot of motion, you're seeing a lot of pulling and stuff like that. But you're also seeing that these running backs are not going to make a lot of mistakes running the ball. You see very little tackles for loss. You see Damian Martinez, he looks like he's just waiting for that block, waiting for that hole, and then he's busting it, right? Sometimes it doesn't open up, so he just tries to get some tough yards, and you'll see the line push them a little bit. Same thing with Mark Fletcher. Mark Fletcher is kind of like that one-cut guy, and then he's off to races, and he's going to knock you out, right? He's going to run right over you, too, because he's big enough. Then you've got Jordan Lyle, who's a combination of to me, Jordan Lyle is going to end up being, I think, one of the best running backs here. I mean, that's how good I think he is. I think he's 3 years and gone. Okay, AJ Allen, he's I think this is his 6th year, right? He's almost as old as like Cam McCormick at this point.
Nobody's older than Cam, so
but he looked really good. And again, that's with second and third stringers on the line. You imagine him with the starters. AJ Allen is a guy that's tough. He's the smallest guy, right? At like 5'8", 5'9", maybe 5'10". Let's give him 5'10". But he's under 200 pounds. But he runs hard. He runs like a big back, but he's also got a little bit of quickness and speed to get on the outside and take it to the house, as we saw last week. So you've got all those guys. You got Chris Johnson that not only is he running the ball, but all he has to do is flare him out, throw him a swing pass, and he's taking it to the house, right? He's electric as they come, probably the fastest guy on the team. So, and we still haven't seen guys like Hellcat, and we might not, which is fine, but you've got so much talent in the backfield that I'm not too concerned either.
No.
Blue, I think that this running back group is as talented as it's been in a long time here at Miami as well, as a whole, as a group. Do you expect to really focus on that running game in this game as well, or are they just going to take whatever USF gives them?
Well, Vish hit it right on the head. What happens is they're stacking the box.
Right.
And what they're going to do is they're going to just do what they could do to stop the run, but then all of a sudden Cam Ward checks off and hits somebody for 50 yards. And that's then before you know it, Ball State did, you're going to have to back those guys out. And they do, because you're going to be hitting them. And that's why I said, if you start getting guys like Chris Johnson in space, that just takes those linebackers back, instead of moving forward for the running game. And that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's inevitable. And you got a quarterback smart enough to extend plays by himself kind of softens up the defense a little bit. So when they come to the line and he sees that they have 7 guys in the box and walking up another, he'll just check off and hit Restrepo or hit, Arroyo. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, they're going to score a lot of points. And then the defense is going to be forced to back up and play a base defense. And instead of, trying to go for, here's the thing, they're trying to, these Hail Mary plays, and you're not going to do it against a team like Miami. You just have to play a base defense and just hope that you can stop the run. But you know what? You and I saw last year, Jazz, in that summer scrimmage, how A.J. Allen can run. We watched him when we played at the Hard Rock Stadium, and that's why we were kind of perplexed during the year that he didn't get that much. He didn't get that much play, and we figured maybe he's in a doghouse or whatever. But we saw his talents, and I think Danny, DJ, you told us that last year. You watched him when he was at Nebraska, and you saw what type of player he is. But on that note, Henry Parrish was SEC running back of the week. So
who cares?
Couldn't do it here, but
no, we knew he was good here. We knew he was just he needed that change of scenery because left, Kevin Smith left, and went back over there, and I think that's what he wanted. So that's fine. Good for him.
Yeah, the one thing I would just say, as Blue said, and people are saying in the chat as well, that teams are playing the run against us. They're putting basically whatever we have in the box, there's one more defender. So it's hard. It's hard even against teams you're overmatched. It's hard to run on that. I would say actually in the first quarter and into the second, we kind of still forced the run a little bit against Ball State because again, when it's a team that's not threatening you, you still we got some plays we want to run, even if we shouldn't against this front. But I do wonder if someone kind of does the opposite. Are we gonna have that? Because we did get it's a kind of awkward phrasing, but we got impatient with the passing game. He could have thrown for 20 yards on every play, but that's not good practice. So instead, they're forcing the run into some stack boxes where it was with backup linemen in, so it was a little bit of a struggle there. But I do wonder if teams back off, as Blue said, if they just say, you know what, we're gonna give you 6 yards a carry, if we'll have the patience to stick with it, and all right, we'll run it 5, 6, 7 times in a row and just eat the yardage up. Because no one's really done that yet. Everyone has kind of at least played a balanced defense or loaded up on the run. No one's really kind of backed off and said, hey, we're going to take the throw away and force you to run it. Probably because that's idiotic to do as a Blue Sox. Hand the ball off. But it would force us to show a little bit of patience on with the running game, which we kind of didn't do with the passing game early. We should just, I say could have thrown for 15, 20 yards a play pretty easily. But didn't. So that'll be interesting to see if, as Blue said, USF is well coached. So if they throw some change up at us, how we kind of respond to maybe not having Cam throw for 300 yards in the first half because they're kind of trying to take the passing game away a little bit.
Yeah, I think what's going to be fun to watch also, which it's been fun to watch already the first 3 games, and DJ, you'll like this, is our tight ends are really good, man.
Yeah.
All of them. And they're all getting the ball. Riley Williams had a really nice play up the middle on a seam route. Elijah Arroyo scored a touchdown, had a couple of really big grabs. You even saw obviously Lofton get involved, and so we've got tight ends, folks. And if you're gonna cover those guys, look, we all know Sammy Brown hasn't gotten off to a crazy start yet, right? And he had a little bit of a drop in this last game, but he also had a nice play up the middle, right, where he kind of jumped over somebody that
He jumped kind of high jumper.
Yeah, he can play, right? So give him a chance. He's going to pop off. Look at what Jacoby George did, right? Jacoby George just had a great game. He popped off, and we're all like, "Oh my God, throwing the ball to Jacoby and nobody else." By the way, Restrepo had a monster game again, quietly. Didn't even realize he had a monster game, but he had a monster game. So his ability, what I was trying to get at is Cam Moore's ability to spread the ball around to so many people is what's going to give any team that they play fits. And somebody mentioned Coach Dawson talking about something, but he mentioned in today's press conference that I think that he's only used like 10% of a certain amount of his playbook. And look at all the plays that they're running now. So I think that if they continue to open up the playbook, then you're going to see some schemes that are going to blow your mind, and it's going to be your watch because they're executing it this time. And I think that's
he used 9.8% in the opener. So
yeah, right, yeah, no kidding. So it's fun. It's exciting to hear that that's the way that they're playing and they're executing, and that's the biggest thing. No, Mel, we haven't acknowledged it because they're the only two with fans, right? I wish I would have had my fan on, just not upstairs. And then Vish doesn't have a fan unless he's down here also, right? So you have a fan in your room, Vish, when you're down here?
Yeah, in Miami I do, not here though.
Yeah, so sorry, we're gonna have to have a fan night again. So we'll have to have an OnlyFans night here.
Oh yeah, I'd like to see that.
We'd somehow manage to lose money on that sponsorship, so probably not the.
It's after 9 o'clock. It's after 9 o'clock now, so we're good.
Canes, this is Six Ring Canes OnlyFans show, right? I would just put the pants on and let them go.
I take nothing off. I can guarantee.
It would be the truest. It would be the truest advertisement. Just show pictures of our fans. No one on camera. Just let it run.
This show's taking a turn. Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get into some recruiting news really quick before we give predictions. I saw somebody talking about the Norland twins up here. Blue, talk to me a little about those kids. I'm not too familiar with them. Are they guys that Miami is keeping an eye on?
Yeah, the Desir brothers. Yeah, I actually at the New Orleans game last week, they played on Friday night. You talk about delays. We didn't get back. We didn't start that game till 9:15. Got home at 10:01. Never really do that from a high school game. Yeah, they're really good. In fact, Penn State was there looking at them as well because they have a commitment. The Branch kid, safety from Northwestern. Yeah, they're the deal. They got size. They play really well. The Desir twins, and yeah, I like them a lot. So we got an opportunity on Thursday to watch Chaminade again. And I'm telling you, when you take a look at a kid like Dante Simpson, he's going to be a problem once he gets to this next level.
Love it.
He's 6'5", he weighs 290, runs in the high 4.8 range, which is pretty decent, maybe even lower.
Whew.
All he needs is solid weight room, and he's big. I mean, he leg press like 600 pounds. So that part, he just needs to get bigger up top, and he will. That's a no problem. Yeah, so get an opportunity, and everybody's still waiting. Javion Hilson decommitted from FSU, one of the best defensive ends in the country. And obviously, while Texas is bringing out the Brinks truck, I think Miami and UCF are in the conversation. UCF because it's proximity-wise to Coco, and plus they got Javion Boggs, the wide receiver. Right. And like I said, I know it's tough for people to understand that UCF's recruiting with, they have to.
The Big 12 now, man. In the Big 12, they got to.
Yeah, they have to. They have to go after the big guns, and they did with, like the Tavion Swint running back. It's going there, and then so they got guys. But I mean, right now there's we had Pickett at the FAMU game. He went to Florida last weekend. I think he's going to be at LSU this weekend coming up. Corey Raymond, who we know is a guy that could keep people, and but there's still hope. I think Miami. By him being down here at all, like you said, that was the Hilton Stubbs deal where he spent more time down here than he did at USC. So, and because of the lineage and his uncle and his cousin and potentially his brother being here, and the fact that Miami's now on the spotlight. Not to say that LSU's not, but I think Miami more so these days. And I'm trying to think of anybody else that you named.
Speaking of Chaminade, CJ Bailey got not the start, but basically played the whole game because Grayson McCall got hurt at NC State.
Yeah, and Davion Gauze starts for North Carolina now. So, and he had another big 135-yard. So he's got 2 over 100-yard games in his first 2 plays. So.
CJ Bailey had a good game for NC State as well. So
yes, he did. Yeah. So, but yeah, Miami's. There's a couple of other kids.
What about Blue? What about the kid Carroll that came, the 5-star that was committed to Alabama? The offensive line.
Yeah, from IMG, the IMG kid.
Yeah.
He's on IMG. like during the lightning delay the other day, I never knew that WQAM's broadcast booth was in Miami Lakes. Jesus, I had to walk in between to go on at halftime, and on the way back, I had a yield for all the recruits coming up, and they had some kids. The Pepe kid, junior Kiani Pepe from IMG was there. He's one of the top 5-6 kids in the class. They had a lot of good-looking kids at the class. But yeah, you're talking about a kid, Carroll, he's a beast. He's a big-time kid. Really is a big-time kid. A great feet, and Miami's getting more and more into those IMG kids now. As you know, Gavin Nix is going to come, and he's had a really, really good year. I mean, they're the defensive end kid, the junior kid, who's really, really good from Bishop Moore, who went to IMG. Name escapes me now, but Miami's in on him as well. So yeah, and you figure for the Virginia Tech game being a Friday night, they may not have a whole lot of kids because of high school football.
All right.
And that's to be expected. But you could bet that the teams that are off or play on Thursday, they're going to get a couple of kids, and maybe some outside area. I don't know. It's a couple of weeks off, so I don't know. And then then they don't come back for 3 weeks. And by that time, I hope they replant the grass. The grass was horrible. The Dolphins chewed it up bad on Thursday night.
Yeah, that and the weather was rain throughout the week, and then the Dolphins chewed it up, and then.
Because if you remember any game you've ever seen at this place, the grass is immaculate. I mean, during the coin toss, I was watching the monitor upstairs, and I said, "Oh my God, it looks like my backyard." Damn,
backyard might have been in better shape.
I don't know, close.
So we do have another. Well, first of all, if you want a hoodie, go to About the Fans and search for Hoodie Girl. Use the code HG10, the letter HG number 10, you get 10% off. Then we do have one more recruiting question. Pimpton works in Broward County. Blue, why do you think Miami doesn't recruit Brevard County harder?
Well, they do. I mean, it's kind of tough for them to get, a lot of those kids, especially, Ryan Schneider's a South Florida guy, but he's also a UCF guy. So he played at UCF. So, no, Hilson's, let me tell you something. He's as good as you get in the class, but he was pretty much committed to FSU. And that's why a lot of these teams were kind of, we'll never have a chance because, you can go to FSU and just start immediately. I mean, here he has a pretty decent pecking order, although he would be in the mix pretty quickly. Yeah. But there's not really great guys in that, in Brevard this year. I mean, there's a couple of kids at O'Galley who, are pretty good, but usually if you're good, you go to Cocoa, and Cocoa has a couple of kids, but like I said, Boggs is already committed out there, and Brady Hart's already committed to Michigan for 2026 class. The whole thing is and when there's a guy who's in the balance, you got 2 former Hurricanes in the area. Their Melbourne head coach, David Kintai, was a wide receiver at Miami. And then you got Hurley Brown, who's at up there at Holy Trinity. In fact, I saw Hurley was part of the 89 class that was down. That was pretty fun to watch all those guys and see Dennis Erickson and, seeing a lot of those players from that class. And it was good because Miami played like they did. So they came back to see a team like that, when they left, that was, in a really good program now is headed back that way. And, being number 8 in the nation, obviously Florida game propelled them and a couple of people losing over the last couple of weeks, but still, you're going to see in a lot of those
polls. Just got to win. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's exactly. And there's the 4 teams in front of them each play each other. So, right. So that kind of helps along the way. And then it's like all those Notre Dame lovers, they'll be top 4, but you see, you could lose at any time. And we'll see. It has not. See, you should never lose at home. If you're a star, a power team, you should never lose at home. Am I saying something funny? I don't know. No, I don't know.
You're good. All right, let's do predictions then. Let's do it. Blue, what do you got? We'll start with you.
Well, we start off, I think Miami makes a mistake early. USF goes ahead 7-0. They go ahead 10-0 in the quarter. Miami scores. Miami makes it 21-10 at half. They come out again. They score a couple more touchdowns. They win 38-13.
38-13. Wow. You know what? I had something similar to that. But DJ, go ahead.
45-17 Miami. Like Blue says, it starts off kind of sloppy, but Miami just blows the doors off at the end, and their depth prevails. Miami gets another easy win.
I'm afraid to ask Vish.
Oh, yeah. It's 91-0 at halftime.
Oh, man. So I like how I'm still getting crap, even though I've been right this year. Like I can't wait over here. Blue gave as detailed an explanation as he did about how UF was going to keep winning field goal in the last play of the game against Miami.
Well, and that's not a good omen then. So,
yeah, but no, I think again we've been talking. Actually, my score is not that different than what DJ and Blue said. I have the Canes winning 47-13. I just don't think it'll be close at the beginning because I think this team has been really focused. I think they come out. They don't play that sloppy first quarter that kind of Blue and DJ think they might. I think they come out focused, score the first few possessions, shut USF down, and then at that point it's kind of just scorekeeping.
40-16. I'm gonna change mine because Blues was too close to mine. So I'll go 40-16 Miami.
What was yours? 35-14?
It was actually 38. I think I actually at one point was gonna say 38 or 41-13, something like that. So
Charmaine Taylor, you're in Vish. What are you, Vish's neighbor?
Look at Ralph. Look at Ralph.
Enjoy the way too. I don't even want to show this, Ralph. What is this?
From your mouth to
42.
Oh my God!
Wow, they scored 42 points.
That's not the defense we've been watching. So I'll tell you that much.
I'm gonna go 40-16.
I will say you can call Charmaine a homer. I feel like she's way closer than Ralph is on the score.
Yeah.
It'll be closer to 63 points than it will be to 3 points. Got a 45-17 in here from Kennedy.
I like that.
That's what I'll hop in with here. The spread, by the way, is
16,
feels,
right?
Yeah, feels very, very low. I've seen it anywhere from 16 to 18.
Yeah, I saw it at 17.5. So
which is not a lot.
Wow. We'll see.
We'll
see.
You
know, the thing is that as you get later on in the year, teams start to get a little better and play a little better together. We'll see what the case is with this, but I still got Miami winning big. Do we have any show and tell, Blue?
Yes, I do.
Show and tell, baby.
Okay, I got something that's going to bring you back a little 55 years in nature here.
Wow.
Technology, baby.
Florida State, Miami, it's 1969. It was the 100th year of college football.
I thought I said 1869.
I was like, Miami was not school in 1869.
What happened?
We saw the 1869.
1869 first.
1969. Look at the schedule now.
All right, let's see what we got. We got FSU, Miami, NC State, LSU,
Memphis.
Was that Memphis, TCU? I can't even read that one. Is that Houston?
Got Houston, Navy, Alabama, Wake Forest, and Florida, which is a pretty good schedule.
Yeah, that's a pretty good schedule.
So, and that's it was good to have, and Miami had some really good players back in the day. The coaching staff looked like BYU.
You got a bunch of boy. Is that what it is?
Oh boy, that might have been pre-integration. When was the first?
Telling you, yeah, that looked like BYU staff back in the day.
Miami was a segregated school. So
well, the first African Americans right on that page, Vish, right there, top. Ray Bellamy.
Right, there we go. Ray Bellamy. So that's how old this was. The player that integrated the athletics program was on that.
There you go, right there. Wow. See what trivia you got. See all the stuff that I've held on to, and you even have O.J. Simpson on the back.
Oh my God. Juice.
The juice.
That is wild. That's wild.
That's how you started the NIL deal. He got one of them Chevys.
So a couple of people have asked. A couple of people have asked. I did look. The Canes went 4-6 that year. Losses to Florida State, LSU, Memphis, Houston, Alabama, and Florida. Wins over NC State, TCU, Navy, and Wake Forest.
Okay.
So that was the 4-6 on that.
And I'll get you next week. I'll keep bringing these older programs out. Plus, I got plenty of Athlon magazines from the championship years. So we'll try out a couple of good pictures for you. Najee Davenport and such.
Sounds
Oh
good.
man, I played.
I'll never
intramural-
run out of the show and tell. That's for sure.
I played intramural basketball with the Najee Davenport.
Oh, you did? He's
Mhm.
pretty good athlete.
Yeah, he would just drive down the lane. Everyone move out of the way because he
No
wanted
one
to
to
get run over by
touch.
that.
Yeah.
Bowling
He looked
ball.
like
The
bowling pins.
problem was getting him to actually show up to the games. But when he showed up, I mean, apparently he was busy. I don't know, winning national championships. So
Something
he
like that.
he would always show up to the game. He'd show up, and just like clear out, let him drive down the lane. People would move.
What a ball hog.
Who's gonna take that charge?
Yeah, you tell him that,
Yeah,
Jazz.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
right?
Pure bustle. No, I mean, I don't know what the bowl rules were back then, but 4 and 6 at least.
No, they didn't have a bowl back then.
Although
Well, I
that
mean-
was a gauntlet of a schedule. I
Yeah.
have to
Like
say.
2 years prior, they went to the Astro Bluebonnet Bowl. So I think that was the game where they played Don Strock and Virginia Tech.
Jeez. Taking it back.
Yeah, way back.
Follow us on Twitter at 6 Rings Canes. Make sure you subscribe to the 5 Reasons Canes podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever it is that you get your podcast. Make sure you check it out. We've got some really good content there. We've got a lot of great shows this week. We've got F1 tomorrow, maybe baseball.
Yeah, there's been some news. There's been some news on the baseball front and the coaching front and on the recruiting front. So stuff to catch up there. And then we forgot to mention this, Jazz. We're doing pre and post game on Saturday. So
oh my God, that's right.
Come join us. Come join us. Yeah, we're doing pre
You're
and
more
post
than
game.
welcome to join us if you're not going to Tampa. We're doing pre and
What
post.
time?
Pre and post. So we'll figure out the time.
Probably like at 6. Yeah, probably like at 6. And then whenever the game ends.
Yeah. So we'll do that big. So make sure you tune in to the 5 Reasons Canes Network on YouTube and on the podcast as well. But make sure you check this out. Buckets this week, Fish?
No.
No buckets this week. 1-1 tomorrow.
We're thinking there might be buckets next week. We're working on a guest, and the schedules haven't aligned to our schedule. So
there you go. So
Yeah, but do you do women's basketball too?
Hell yeah, they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Katie Meyer named the show.
Oh, okay. Why? Yeah. Why don't we have? Can we do the Cavender twins?
You got to spare $100K lying around, Blue?
Why they charge you to do that?
They got a parents' fees. We got to talk to their agent first.
That's
unbelievable.
We have had most of the women's staff on already.
Okay.
The new head coach, a bunch of the assistant coaches.
She seems like a pretty good coach. The new
she's
coach.
Awesome. Yeah, she's awesome. She's been on the show, and then we've had some of the players, but
Good.
The Cavenders are.
Yeah, they're in a different stratosphere, but
That's a different animal, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do know.
All right. So
that's the end of the show, my friends.
Okay, we're getting a little bit out of here now.
Tune in for never mind.
OnlyFans.
We'll see you guys on Saturday post game, pre-game on
and
our
post
pre-game
game.
show.
Yeah.
Adios.
All right, guys.
The 6 Rig Kane Show. Yeah. The 6 Rig Kane Show. Yeah. The 6 Rings Kane Show. You know.